Well, here's another batch of independent comic books that everybody says they want to look at, but in all honesty, we don't. I mean, who buys it? You know, other than myself, who gets all of these to read? Who gets any of these? But I like to do it. My brother likes to do it, so we occasionally like to put out a video where we review a whole bunch of independent comics. And I do understand I'm a little bit behind, but we're catching up. A little bit here, a little bit there, until we're all caught up, and hopefully by the end of the year we will be. So anyway, once again, here's a whole bunch of, I think 16 reviews of different independent comic books. I hope there's something you can find here that you like, or maybe we could steer you away from something that you don't like, or you know, you never know. You never know. There's all sorts of different kind of books here, including one called Volcanosaurus. I you not. So kick back, relax, and enjoy. The one-star books are the worst of the worst, the ones you should definitely avoid. Sidewinder number 1 is possibly the worst independent comic I read this week. I don't know, I wanted to like it, you know, it's a cowboys in space kind of thing. Starts off okay, but quickly just goes downhill. It's one of those things where you start reading, oh, okay, this is interesting. Let's see the premise. Okay, it's bounty hunters in space, cowboys. They're all wearing hats, even though they're on spaceships and nowhere near the sun. That's awesome. And then just the more you read it, oh, God. By halfway, I'm counting pages. How many do I have left? You know, just kind of lost track of the story. The art's not all that good. You know, it's just good on you for making a comic book. But man, Sidewinder number 1 just wasn't good. It could not hold my interest for long. The 2-star books are merely bad, with some saving grace keeping them from being truly horrible. Family Trade number 1. Funny thing happened on the way to the last page of Family Trade. As I'm reading and I'm enjoying, I'm thinking, this is exactly what you want from a number 1. Granted, the art sucks. It's not very good. It's that painted kind of sloppy, almost looks like they're trying to have a style, but really it's just not kind of art. But the story is exactly what you want from a first issue. And it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's this whole world that's built out of ships that were a part of a fleet to a bad king, and the fleet said, well, we got all the guns, and they ended up building this island, and it just grew and grew and grew until it's a huge city that's being controlled by a few families, and there's a central figure that takes over. But then all of a sudden, while I'm interested in it, not very thinly veiled politics come in. And it's not exactly the politics of this world, it's the politics of our world, right down to the point where Donald Trump is controlling Antifa. Yeah, it's not subtle. While it remained in its own fictional world, it was really cool. But once it was that, it's like, okay, just one more person bitching. The Shadow, number 3. So while G.I. Joe fans have to deal with Aubrey Sitterson, those of us who are fans of The Shadow have to deal with Cy Spurrier believing, as a lot of the SJWs do, that justice equals social justice. And we get that thrown in these books, which sucks. Man, these are some awesome covers. I mean, it's hard to draw a Shadow cover with a shadow on it and have it not look awesome. And my goodness, there's some good to the story sometimes, but it's aimless. I mean, you know, take out the politics and you still have a book that occasionally has a decent scene, but is just aimless. There's no point to it. We're 3 issues in, and he's been laying in a hospital bed just telling stories of the past. And if that's the case, okay, fine, but it looks like they're trying to go for something, but just haven't reached it yet. There seriously is no point to this series so far. Read the Shadow Batman comics instead. Eternity number 1. So this is a sequel to Divinity, which was not bad. It actually was a very good story, and it took its time, and it described things, and it gave you every bit of information you needed. Eternity number 1, on the other hand, is 3 pages worth of story stretched out over 20. I mean, there's a lot of wasted space here. And granted, I don't mind if you have good sequential art that could tell a story without words. But this is a whole bunch of pictures. It's a whole bunch of paintings. And that's about it. You barely get any world building here. You get a whole bunch of talk. Really, this book is written as if you've already read everything that came before it. So if you haven't, you're going to be lost. I'm sorry, but I was looking for something better than this. The 3-star books are merely average. You might like them, you might hate them. For us, it just didn't move the needle. Every company has to have its big crossover, and Aspen is no different. Aspen Decimation number 1. This continues right off of Aspen Universe Decimation number 0, and just like number 0, it expects you to understand everything that's going on in the Aspen universe. There is no help here. And this is a company that loves to draw brunettes. Everybody looks exactly alike, except for the Fire Girl. And it's really hard to tell the players without a playing card. So the bad guys, they have this plan to go to the past and unravel the kingdom so they could take over. And the good guys group together to fight them. I'm sorry, but that's as vague as this story gets, and that's as detailed as the story gets as well. It's entertaining if you can understand what's going on. Good luck with that. I follow the Aspen universe somewhat, and I was confused as hell. The Last Hunt number 2. I've got to tell you, I was surprised I wanted to read this as much as I did. When I read first issue, I thought, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you know, it's got a good setup. It took time to get to know the characters. Had a decent payoff. Except it wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. But when I saw, oh, wow, yeah, I remember this book. That's really cool. I want to check it out. You know, so in my head, it actually grew a bit from when I actually read first issue. Well, how about second issue, since this is what the review is supposed to be about? If you combine the two, first and second issue, you could come up with one good book. This is issue 1, part 2. It just seems like everything's just stretched out. It's not bad. It's the same thing as the first issue. It's fun to read, but there's just not much to it. If you can find it for a discount, like $1, maybe $2, okay, fine. But do not pay full price. Maestros number 1. So, okay, this one has already made its rounds. People already know this is a good book, and so I don't know if I'm going to confirm it. I do know that it is interesting. I didn't read it and go, wow. However, it builds its world, and like I said, it's at least an interesting book. Visually, the story is good. I did think for a little bit it was trying to be dirty for dirty's sake. You know, it's, okay, we've seen it before. You know, it's no longer shocking because we've already seen it in other things. That being said, the story's strong. It gives you all the things you need, the who's, the what's, the where's, the why's. And overall, you read it and you're going to go, okay, yeah, I would not mind seeing where this leads us. That being said, I do believe it's a critic pleaser more than it is a crowd pleaser. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, number 2. I've enjoyed this series. I gotta say, it's a fun series. Now, I do admit, this issue, the art suffered a little bit. It did take a dip from issue number 0 and 1, so, you know, they can't all be winners. But still, the story is good. You have Sheena and the college kid. They get together looking for the, well, I like how Sheena says it, surveyor, who is basically causing trouble for her and the tribe. While they're walking through the jungle, she's talking the college student into not killing himself, basically, because he's trying to touch and things that he shouldn't be touching. Like I said, it's fun. It's silly. Is it amazing? Is it the best book ever? I would say no. But still, for the price of admission, yeah, you'll get your entertainment out of it. The 4-star books are good. These are the stories and comics we can actually recommend. Danger Doll Squad #1. So basically this is just, you know, this universe's crossover. And I'm reading it and enjoying it. It's fun. Don't get me wrong, this is a fun book. But as it's going, it's explaining the plot. I'm going, it sounds like Tron. And then as it keeps going, and let me tell you, this is a cheesecake book. It's not for kids. There's nudity, swearing, the whole 9 yards. But as it goes, I'm going, yeah, this is the plot of Tron. And then at the end they go, wow, this really is Tron. I'm like, score. So this is a stupid book. And by that I mean that in a good way. It is a stupid, fun book. It's definitely lowbrow humor, though. I mean, you definitely have to put a ladder to climb to the gutter to get to the humor of this book. Entertaining, fun, yeah, I'm sorry. If you are an adult and you like kind of lowbrow humor, I can recommend this. Volcanosaurus #1. Now, have you ever tried to review a book called Volcanosaurus? Volcanosaurus? I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm wasting time, but the truth is I'm trying to review a book called Volcanosaurus. And it's a book called Volcanosaurus. I could just say the title over and over. You know what you're going to get because you've seen Sci-Fi Channel. And it's that kind of thing. These dinosaurs have evolved inside of a volcano, and now they can shoot lava, and they attack people on a mountain. It is brilliant fun. It's stupid as hell, and it is definitely worth it. Just so long as you understand it's stupid as hell and kind of fun. Animosity Evolution #1. Wow, this is a good book. I mean, this is a really good book. And just like I've been saying in a lot of #1s, if you're going to give us a #1, you have to tell us all of the information, who the characters are, what roles they play, so it can continue in the next issues. And a lot of modern day comics don't do that. They have big panels with only a few words, even descriptive words, and it just does not tell a story. This one, on the other hand, right off the bat, gives you the history of the comics. I mean, this panel right here. You get everything you need to know about the history, so you're prepared to go forward. And it's a good story. It's fun. The only problem I have with it is that the animals take over and they're fighting the humans in some place. Yeah, granted, you have your friendlies. And I'm a human, so guess who I'm rooting for? Yeah, the humans. Sorry, I can't see it as, oh, good, the animals take over. No, I'm the same way with the Planet of the Apes movies. Kill those fucking apes. Just like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm evil. Either way, this is a good book. Check it out. Superb #4 from Catalyst Comics. I enjoy this series. I'm serious. It's everything that superhero comics once was. I think I may have done this review before with issue #3. I seem to remember saying that phrase. But yeah, it's an old-fashioned superhero comic book. It's fun. It tells a story. You got the subplots going on as well as the main plot. It's an entertaining book. There's no pretense to this. There's no message that goes beyond the story and the message of the story itself. It's fun. The art is okay. Sometimes suffers a little bit, looks a little rushed, but the colors are interesting. I mean, this is a good book, gang. This is one of those books you're looking for to replace something shitty from Marvel. Put your money where your mouth is and drop a Marvel title. Check this one out. Exo Manowar #8. So this is a book about a war that's not about the war. It starts off with basically everybody preparing, and this half of the book is very interesting. Is you just get, you know, one side is planning to be attacked, one side is planning to attack, what they expect of it, their fears, what they're hoping to gain. And the war itself is very short, so it's not really about that at all. And afterwards, of course, what's to be expected, including, will Eric be a good leader? It's a strong story with great art. Exo Manowar, judging just by this issue alone, is definitely a book from Valiant Comics I think you should be picking up. Very strong effort. Green Hornet 66 meets Spirit 66. The spirit of 66. The city is evacuated, and Kid Kraken is looking through the Sentinel's files to find out what they know about the spirit. And not only the Kraken is interested, but Green Hornet discovers that the spirit must have been involved in the same explosion that killed the original spirit, and that he must be working for the octopus. So a lot going on, a lot to unpack in this issue. You get a lot of story, a lot of action. And I'm very impressed in the way that it can meld the two. Cool book, fun book, excellent. I'm a huge fan of both characters. And even though you don't get the original spirit, the book still delivers. Hack and slash God dang it. So, okay, so far I've said hack and slack, and this is like the 4th time, so freaking hell, I'm just going to go on with it. Hack and slash Resurrection #1 is cool. Just get that out of the way. I'm all of a sudden a hack and slash fan, what with the hack and slash Vampirella and now this. Granted, there is not much to this story. Seriously, most of it is catch up to whom this person is, which is good. If you're new to the whole hack and slash thing, this book tells you who she is and what you need to know about the world she lives in. And that's a good thing for somebody who, like myself, is a noob. Except her friend here is dead, so I've got some catching up to do as well. So not only is it good for a story right here, but it's good to advertise the back issues as well. And in this one, she's living by herself in a camper, and occasionally she needs to kill some zombies that are coming up. She gets a call from a friend, hey, I want you to be a camp counselor, and we're off. And that's the story. Pretty cool. Check it out if you can. Mighty Mouse #5. So I've been singing the praises of this series since it began. Yeah, the last 5 months have been very good as far as IDW has been concerned outside of the G.I. Joe. And Mighty Mouse has been one of the most entertaining books of the year. Easily, for me. So, but the thing is, this is the last chapter, so I cannot recommend it to you. However, I do recommend the series as a whole. When it gets on trade paperback, if you can find it, or if you can find it in the back issue bin, it is definitely worth the pickup. So, Mighty Mouse comes into the quote-unquote real world and brings along an alien invasion that he has to stop. He gets a kid involved who can draw something, and when he does, it can be pulled out of the cartoon universe to be used against the cartoon aliens. Fun premise, right? Yeah, it's well written, well drawn, and just a ton of fun. And the 5-star books are the best of the best, the ones we highly recommend for the week. And just like last time, there were no 5 stars, but that doesn't mean there weren't any good books. Obviously there were. So what appeals to you? What do you think, hey, you know what, I think I'm going to check that one out? Or was there something that was like, hey, I'm glad you talked me out of that one? I don't know. Or is there something you've read that you thought I was wrong about? Please let me know in the comments below. I always like a difference of opinion. And if you like something I didn't, by all means, please tell me why. I love to hear that kind of stuff, especially if I missed something. Also, if you like this video, please click like, share, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything, because cool things happen around here. Now, this is the way we make our living. So if you don't mind, go on over to Patreon. Drop $1 in the till. Help us keep the lights on. Help us keep making these videos. We'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. Ooh, and as a matter of fact, I just dropped a review, a roast of Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of Punisher. So you do get your own content at Patreon. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all the true believers, we thank you very, very much for watching.